This is the Good Neighbor Podcast, the place where local businesses and neighbors come together. Here's your host, Lila Carter.
Welcome to the Good Neighbor Podcast. Are you in need of a lawyer or mediator? One might be closer than you think. Today, I have the pleasure of introducing your good neighbor, Jeff Pollock, with the Law and Mediation Office of Jeffrey Lawrence Pollock, Esquire. Jeff, how's it going?
Doing real well, Lila. I had a successful landlord-tenant hearing this morning at the local magisterial district judge office, so I'm in a good mood. My clients are happy, and this is exciting, and I'm thrilled to be with you at this point.
Yeah, we're happy to have you here and excited to learn all about you and your business. So please tell us more about your company.
Well, I've been a lawyer since 1987. After graduating from University of Pennsylvania, I came back to Pittsburgh, where I grew up, went to Pitt Law School, and because my grandfather was my hero and he was a lawyer, he went to Pitt Law School, graduated from there in 1987, got trained as a mediator in 1994, and founded something called Collaborative Law in Western Pennsylvania. The group is called CLASP, and as a collaborative lawyer, we try primarily in family law cases, but in other things to settle divorces and custody and other family-related issues. I particularly enjoy doing things besides helping people fight over their kids and end a relationship, but that is the bulk of my practice, doing family law, divorce, custody support, adoptions, writing wills and powers of attorney. And I've had a East End based office. An East End office now was in my home since 1989. And long before COVID, I was trying to help people in Pittsburgh with what are very competitive rates, because having a home office, I have less overhead, and I really enjoy helping people and solving problems. I wish I was as good at solving my own issues, but I'm really good at helping other people, and that's what helps me get motivated each day.
Sure. And how did you get into this business? I know you said that you have some familial ties, but could you expand on that a little bit?
Absolutely. I think I say this somewhat jokingly and facetiously, but it's kind of true in my situation, that when you grow up in Squirrel Hill, being Jewish, going to private school, getting good grades, going to an Ivy League college, your family expects you to be a doctor or a lawyer or accountant. So since I'm not great in science, and I didn't really enjoy math, even though I had an excellent SAT score way back when, because my grandfather was someone I really looked up to, and I enjoy persuading people by words and helping people through the written language, and by being in front of judges and juries, I became a lawyer. I remember specifically in 1980, I believe it was, I was in a musical to raise money for some charity, and I was interviewed by what was then called WWSW Radio. They interviewed two people from our cast, and they asked me, I was 18 at the time, what do you want to be when you grow up, basically? And I said, I'd like to be an entertainment lawyer, because I've enjoyed being on stage and doing theater and acting and singing and dancing, and I've wanted to be a lawyer. So finally it came true. I've been a lawyer, and specifically an entertainment lawyer, on many occasions. This is Pittsburgh and not New York or LA, but I've helped many filmmakers, and I've helped people that I've been in shows get divorced or make sure their wills are done correctly. So that's the chronology.
Very cool. Yeah, I know a lot of people in entertainment are still talking about the Jimmy Kimmel situation going on recently. Are there any myths or maybe misconceptions in your industry that you'd like to address today?
Wow. Um, I think that people believe that lawyers are just in it to make money, and I wish that were more true in my case. I have gotten too focused on helping people and kind of forgotten to bill people correctly or enough, because I really want to solve their problems and help them move on to the next stage of their life. There's only two times I think that lawyers are ever sought out for a good reason. Adoptions, people are happy when you're done, and typically the judge allows the child or children to come up on the bench with them and bang the gavel, and everybody's smiling at that point. Or real estate closing, when the sellers are happy they're getting money and the buyers are happy because they're getting a fresh start in a new home. But other than that, most law is really just returning phone calls on time and responding to emails on a timely basis and helping people address whatever's troubling them. And because I learned early that the most important thing for lawyers is to keep their clients involved with their case and up to date with what's going on, I have tried very hard to empower my clients and keep them abreast of their situation. And in fact, I wrote a mission statement back in the mid 90s, which I have kept next to my desk so that I can remind myself that my mission is to be respected by my clients as a professional, doing his best to be competent, prepared, organized, conscientious, loyal, affordable, and caring as a legal advocate or advisor. And that's important to me, that it's a profession, not just a business, and it's a career, not just a job. So I make sure that my goal is to create satisfied customers by providing sensitive counsel through the various stages of the legal system. And if we can stay out of the legal system and I get to mediate a case, or I get to serve as a collaborative lawyer and settle everything with both sides being more happy than not, then that's a success. And people didn't waste time and money litigating and going before a judge and waiting to be dependent upon the court's scheduling. All of this is something that I wrote 30 years ago and I still adhere to. The last paragraph also is important to my view of the profession. I try to provide cost-effective, efficient legal services at a reasonable fee, delivered in a timely manner. I will do my best to involve you in your case and communicate regularly and without delay. I cannot warrant a specific outcome, but I will try diligently to make my clients satisfied with my service. I always seek to empower my clients to be able to act on their own behalf when possible to save legal fees and time. If this office cannot perform to your reasonable satisfaction, please inform me promptly, because I welcome feedback. I always want to become better at what I do. I will use my best efforts to resolve and not inflame issues, even if it means reducing legal fees or whatever is necessary to make sure that my client is satisfied, because I became a lawyer in order to help people. And one of the ways that I gauge how successful I've been is after every case, I ask my client to please consider posting feedback, their thoughts on their experience on social media. And I'm particularly proud of being one of the few, if not only, lawyers that has almost 200 reviews on a website called AVVO, AVVO.com. It's a national rating service for lawyers, akin to Yelp for other businesses. And I have like 188 five-star reviews, something to that effect. And I use that to reinforce what I do and to make sure that I return calls promptly and do the best I can. And if I'm not the right lawyer, I just told someone yesterday when they called me about a complex trust issue, I said I can do your will and powers of attorney and living will, but if it's something more complex, I have a colleague or two or three that I can refer you to, because I don't want to do a half-assed job. I want you to be thrilled with lawyers, because lawyers sometimes get a bad profession, and to equate us with used car salesmen is not fair. There's always a bad apple in every bunch, but I really take it seriously to uphold the integrity and the standards of our profession. I'm the only two-time chair of the Allegheny County Bar Association Young Lawyers Division. I give back through pro bono efforts all the time. I volunteer in my community in other ways. I don't know if you were going to ask this, but I want to make sure not to leave out that right now, as a frustrated performer who does some acting on the side, I'm actually in a musical. It's the 19th year that I'm in something called Off the Record. And to make a quick plug for that, it's the 25th year of this musical parody that the Post-Gazette writers started in the year 2001. And this is its silver anniversary, 25th year of one of the funniest productions I've ever been in. Every year there's something to skewer, some event to parody. And this year, the writers have done a great job in writing about making fun of Pittsburgh and the Pirates having 20 consecutive losing years or whatever, and various other things that have perhaps been ripe and rife for commentary. We have Larry Richard from KDKA, who's the MC. He was the MC in 2001, and he's coming back for the last year. We're honoring Ken Rice, who was the MC for every other year. We're honoring David Johnson, who's been the target of a lot of our joking over the years. And I think we've honored Rob Rogers, who does amazing cartoons for the Flyers every year and donates at an auction to raise money for the food bank. And we've raised supposedly almost $1 million over the 25 years for the Greater Pittsburgh Food Bank. And I'm honored to be a part of that, sing and dance. And that's how I'm spending my free time lately. And my golf game, tennis, and softball playoffs have had to take a back seat for the last 19 years during the month of September. So the production, if I forgot to mention, is October the 16th. That's a Thursday evening, one night only, at the Byam Theater in downtown Pittsburgh. Tickets are $30, $50, or $80, depending upon where the seats are. And there's a bunch of donating restaurants in the lobby every year that give you something to nosh on before you go into the show. And then afterwards, there's a free dessert reception with a cash bar in the lobby, everything from a chocolate fountain to other things. And the politicians that show up every year, the KDKA personalities that are there every year. It's really quite a happening, and I'm looking forward to it. This may be our last year ever, so get there before it's too late.
Sounds like quite the event, and I love that the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette is involved too. My family is very fond of the Blocks. They're a great family in Pittsburgh. So
well, they get skewered a little bit too. I won't preview it, but the Blocks are very generous for our community. I apologize for the phone in the background. It's a client I will call back when we're done. But because of the Post-Gazette perhaps taking a particular political angle, they've been target of some joking. Mayor Gainey gets a little ribbing this year. Mayor O'Connor, to be, hopefully, he's actually doing the pre-buttal because he is being targeted with some jokes during the show. So he gets to do a 5-minute stand-up routine, if you will, before the show. And the Post-Gazette and the Blocks were integral in starting this. And Gary Rothstein and Chris Rawson started it, and Sharon Eberson is the producer now. It's funny, it's professional. To be performing at the Byam Theater is an honor for me every year because it's such a professional location.
Very cool. Yeah, despite anyone's political opinion, you know a good person when you meet them. So That being said, who are your target customers and how are you currently attracting them?
Well, my target audience for helping people is just about anyone in the city who has a problem. The landlord-tenant case that I had this morning was referred through either Google or Avo or word of mouth. I don't advertise. I'm a little old school. My grandfather was a success back before you lawyers were allowed to advertise. So I never put my picture in the yellow pages or anything like that. I just like to get clients through word of mouth, and particularly through Avo, which I already mentioned. There are various rating systems for lawyers: Martindale Hubbell, lawyers.com, lawyersratings.com, but Avo is a big part of how I get my clientele to help them with, again, their divorces, custody, landlord-tenant issues, entertainment law, wills, powers of attorney, criminal defense. I have been fortunate to teach CLEs, or continuing legal education classes, over my 37 years of practice in the areas of family law, criminal defense, and landlord-tenant law. And I typically volunteer to teach the ethical portion of those seminars because I believe that there are rules for lawyers that need to be followed while you are helping people. And again, I think I mentioned this earlier, when I first started practice, I went to a seminar and I was taught that when lawyers get in trouble or have a problem with their clients, it's usually for one of two reasons. They gave us a list of 10, but the top two were not keeping your clients informed about their case, or not having the client approve what's being done on their behalf. So I make sure that the client's involved every step of the way, so that when it's over, they feel like they had a part of what happened, so that they can't complain that the judge did something or whatever, because they made a choice and were involved with me every step of the way to help their problem and set their future the way they want it to be.
Yeah, and just hearing your mission statement too, I can tell that you're a gentleman of a high moral standing. So have you ever thought about perhaps maybe doing a podcast to reach your audience and these people that you could help?
I haven't. I'm so busy with helping people and fortunate to have enough clients. A lot of them are through neighborhood legal services at a reduced rate, because I'm on the neighborhood legal services board, and I feel responsible to help the more indigent members of our community. So there's no shortage, unfortunately, of people who can't really afford a $500 an hour lawyer from a downtown office building. So that's part of the reason I started in my home back in 1989, long before COVID made it trendy to work out of your home and not commute. So I haven't done a podcast. I enjoy podcasts. I actually did one with a lawyer who was starting to promote podcasts about 15 years ago. And it seemed, I'm enjoying this with you. You're a great host. You're asking all the right questions. I'll have to consider it, but at the moment I'm really busy. In the few hours a week that I'm not helping clients, I do like to, as I said, play golf, play tennis, do some acting on the side, keep up with the local streaming with my my family, and so thank you for suggesting that.
Yeah. So Jeff, please tell our listeners one thing that they should remember about your firm.
I'll go back to my mission statement, I guess. Everyone who comes into my office gets my mission statement so they can hold me to my own words. And on the flip side, everyone gets a free living will. I believe in value-added services. I want people to know that when they pay me for my time, that they got at least what they came to get. And at the bottom of my mission statement, it says, "The sharp employ the sharp. Verily, a man may be known by his attorney." Someone named Douglas Jerrold a century or two ago wrote those words. And my clients have on occasion said, "You know what, you're right. My wife, my husband hired someone that is exactly like them. And that's why they drove me crazy for the last several years together," or whatever. "But you reflect my values, and you do remind me of myself in the way that I would want to handle this case just the way you have supported me." So a person may be known by their attorney, and I hope that the people who choose me come to me not because they're looking for the sharkiest lawyer or the cheapest lawyer. If someone wants someone with integrity, who is conscientious, that's who I am. And I enjoy helping people. It's how I make sure my day was successful. If I helped someone solve their problem and was a support, a counselor, an advisor, and an advocate, but not someone who was so adversarial that I made the situation worse than when they came to me, then I know that I've done my job.
And how can our listeners learn?
I'm sorry.
And how can our listeners learn more about the Law and Mediation Office of Jeffrey Lawrence Pollock, Esquire?
Well, I'm not as aggressive about getting out to people, so you're not going to see a billboard, you're not going to see hear a radio ad or see a TV commercial. So to reach me, my phone number, I've had a home and office number that's been the same. I hope people won't call at 2 a.m., but I'm accessible to them. That's another one of my selling points and the reason I think I've been successful for 37 years. 412-421-2232 is my home and office. And my website for people to learn a little more about me is www.jeffrey, Jeffrey, Pollock, Pollock, law.com. And my email address, I always joke, I have a couple email addresses, but the one I like to give out because it's a talking point and it's a way for people to remember me is my email address is JLP for Jeffrey Lawrence Pollock, LAW for lawyer, 15217 for my zip code at AOL.com because I'm old. So people always get a chuckle when I say AOL, but they remember it, and I check my emails incessantly so I can get back to people timely, and that's something I'm very proud of, that I've made a practice of for decades, to keep clients abreast of what's going on in their case and not let the sun go down. 24 hours will not pass before I'll return an email unless I'm out of the country for some reason.
Very good. Well, Jeff, thank you so much for your time today. We appreciate having you as a guest on the show. We wish you and the business the best moving forward.
Lila, I wish you success, and I really appreciate your great questions, and look forward to meeting you in person someday.
Thanks so much.
Thank you for listening to the Good Neighbor Podcast. To nominate your favorite local businesses to be featured on the show, go to gnppittsburgh.com. That's gnppittsburgh.com, or call 412-561-9956.